Hey everybody, this is Dr. Albert Snow, Holistic Gastroenterologist, continuing my pursuit of wiping out inflammatory bowel disease, as you know it, conditions as I know it, on this planet. It's doable. We are doing it 1% at a time, and I've found out that since I've been doing this stream and podcast that it's becoming more than 1% at a time. I'm getting calls from all over the world, and that's gratifying because my interest is only to stop the suffering. I've been on a mission for a lot of years, and now it's picking up even more momentum, and I'm excited. It takes an emotional toll on me because every person I talk to, I get emotional with. Either they trigger me or I trigger them. I just think of the people who are never going to hear my voice. They don't have a chance. I do not know if anyone else knows how to fix it, and we certainly know that the doctor they're going to, if conventional is not going to heal it. So I try not to think about what their life's going to be like. But through technology, the voice carries a lot further, doesn't it? So here's a quick hitter for you. Such herbs as slippery elm, marshmallow, and amino acid L-glutamine. Why is it useless to take them in a capsule? So when it says on a label that a lot of good ingredients, like those ingredients plus some other things that are known to be good for the GI tract, why is it not usually helpful to take those? Unless they get certain cofactors in them. And here's what I mean. These supplements, these substances, such as slippery elm and marshmallow and L-glutamine, really need to be dosed in terms of like a tablespoon, half a tablespoon, tablespoon and a half, but in those measurements, not milligrams like in a capsule. If you are, like say you have IBS, colitis, Crohn's, or you're bleeding, we know that those supplements I just recommended, those substances, they're really good for stopping the bleeding, healing tissue fast. Like glutamine is like the brick, and when you're taking colostrum, that's in probiotic, that's the mortar. If you're trying to build a wall in your bowel where there's some holes, and you need those ingredients, but you need them in significant quantities. Fooling around with 50 milligrams in a capsule, what's that going to do for you? Nothing. Those capsules are maybe, possibly, not quite likely, even good for maintenance. You need significant amounts of those things if you're going to heal the tissue. And so, an example is we were using oils one time. We were treating people with oil, and they were bugging us about, we don't want to take the liquid. I said, well, if you're going to take it in capsules, you're going to have to take 32 capsules twice a day, and possibly it'll be 64 twice a day, because we were measuring them out in 1 or 2 tablespoons, and that was going to equal that many capsules, and that was the minimum dose. So that's how I discovered it. A companion of mine showed me, some information on it that so impractical to take capsules for these things you need big dosages for. You just can't do it. You couldn't swallow that many capsules, and you don't want to spend that amount of money. And you see these cute little supplements that will say, take 2 capsules twice a day. It's got some, like 1 speck of slippery elm and 1 speck of marshmallow and so on, and they don't have a chance. You don't have a chance. It's got to be the powder. Now, one potential problem with the powders is they don't taste good, or they're yucky consistency. Well, most everybody actually puts them into a smoothie, and they don't notice anything. It becomes an enjoyable thing to do at that. But you got to take these things twice a day. Why twice a day? Because you want that action to be in your body almost 24 hours. It takes about 12 hours to fully metabolize nutrients, because all these supplements are is just food. And so they do what they're going to do in 12 hours, like a 12-hour shift. They're out, we bring in the next shift. That means you get coverage the whole time. That's one of the reasons I get such good success. Simple as that. You put the crew on 24/7 crew. You don't have them work a regular work hour. Are you trying to accomplish something? Going to put them on a regular work day? No. So you need high enough quantities. I mean, somebody today was reading off a list of ingredients on a product. I said, how many? It was like 19 things, not that many, maybe 10 things. I said, those are all good. But what do you got, a capsule? He goes, yeah. I go, how much does it say of each thing per capsule? There's nothing you got to look out. You got to know how to read labels. They'll trick you, and I think they do it on purpose. They want you to take a quick look at the label and see, oh, it's got 500 milligrams. It's got 1,000 milligrams. And then what you need to do is take another look and see how many capsules that is. How many capsules? Oh, they're saying 4 capsules equal 500. And 500 is still not even close to being enough. This isn't true about all the nutrients, just the ones that you need to use to rebuild, which is the glutamine, cyprium, marshmallow. Colostrum, surprisingly, colostrum you don't need mega amounts. It will do more if you provide more to the body. One of the things it will do is maybe put on a pound or two in typically muscle. It has anabolic properties. Good for athletes, and you're certainly not going to fail any tests because of colostrum. I had I don't know if she's still hanging around. She was, I think, the hammer holder, the Olympic hammer throw. She was a college student, really highly regarded, and she, I was hoping that she would try for the Olympics, and I don't know if she ever did or not, but she was obviously a very strong girl, and she was taking the colostrum. She was concerned if that was going to throw some kind of a red flag on the tests. And I can't remember how it went exactly, but it was confirmed that it was okay. She went ahead and took it. She was not going to blow it with her potential. And I'm not sure what happened. Hopefully I haven't heard from her because she's healed. But I want to tell you, you know who I'm talking about. If you're listening and you need me, call me. I care about you, and one of the nicest families I ever met. So I do not want you sitting at home or in your dorm sulking. I know you're not that type to feel sorry for yourself, but I want you to just be joyous. That's what I want for everybody. I was had an appointment with somebody a couple weeks ago, and they said, he went, you just let all the weight off my shoulders. He sounded like a totally different person. 18 years, and he had several near-death experiences. And he said as soon as he heard what I was saying, he knew I was right. Well, to get back to the subject, you need to take the right quantity of things. Some stuff, it doesn't matter. Now, you see some of these powders, you'll say, well, it's got glutamine in the powder. Why you give me extra glutamine? Well, we're really concerned about the powder I'm giving you. That's all I really care about. The glutamine that's in the powder that you take that has multiple things in there, it plays a little different role. So you've got, I got one called GI Select I recommend a lot. I forget how many nutrients it has in it, but it has a lot. And a lot of those are what's called cofactors. They help each other be more complete, so you absorb them better. So when you do see 500 milligrams of L-glutamine to half a gram, you'll get more out of it when you have the cofactors, which are all the B vitamins. The B vitamins are the main cofactors. A lot of people are trying to make something special out of B vitamins. B vitamins are just little helpers. That's all they are. They're valuable, but they're not going to really heal anything. One exception would be in terms of its effect is vitamin B12. B12, if you are lacking it and you take it, you get the first time you take it, you get a giant high because it's bringing you from deficiency to normal B12. And B12 is one of the things that will make you feel good when you go from deficiency to having enough. And but it's not that common to be deficient enough to make a real difference. I think they started testing for blood work for B12 not that long ago, maybe a while ago. That's another one that doesn't need to be tested. Give me a break. all of a sudden vitamin D became the big hero, the big thing. No one cared about vitamin D, and now it's on a blood test. Couldn't get them to acknowledge nutrition for decades. Now they're telling you to go buy some B12 because my experience and my knowledge is that pharmaceutical companies bought many of these vitamin companies, and they want to sell vitamins. So let's get it on the test and tell everybody to go get some vitamin D. Don't knock yourself out getting vitamin D, please. So you gotta know about dosages. Almost everybody I see, they tell me what they're taking. They're not taking nearly enough. So that's one of the reasons they might say, well, I gave my best with the nutritional stuff, doesn't work, let me go back to the drugs. Well, unless you have the proper guidance, you're not going to know how much to take. And it says on the, usually on the can, the jar, whatever comes in the bag, it'll say one generic like amount. Take one capsule once a day. And that's because they're required to put something on there. But they know that everyone's needs are different. So you're going to be taking enough that might satisfy you of something, and someone else is only a fraction of what they need. In most cases, you're all across the board not taking enough. So the first step for me is usually, oh, you got a lot of good stuff there. First move, let's just up the dosage on those and see how you do after a week. You just go by what the body says, but there's a certain experience. 40 years of experience, I know what not to ask and what not to worry about. And, vitamin D isn't one to worry about. Another one that scared the hell out of you is hemoglobin. Another one that moms get scared about, and had a couple today, body weight of the child. Let me make a comment about that. Nature's keeping track. Nature knows how old that kid is and the ideal weight for that kid. When it shuts down the appetite in some people, I'm not talking just children here, I want to morph over into weight and weight loss, is the body produces a little chemical to make you feel nauseous or make you feel like not eating. It does that when you have a problem like IBS that's not getting healed by anybody. And the body says, every time you throw some food down here, we're releasing the acid, it's causing the whole cycle that causes the diarrhea, give us a break. So it throws out a little chemical that'll make you feel like not eating. You push through it, it'll throw out more, make you feel nauseous. And if you keep eating, it'll throw out even more harsh chemicals to make you vomit. Because it's saying to you at that time, we're not going to let you put us in jeopardy by eating and releasing digestive acids while we're trying to heal. So there's a lot to do with timing, when to take things. And here's another one I'm going to blow you out. I'm going to blow your mind in terms of you might be into it and think it's so valuable. Food combining. I've never seen so much bullshit in my life. Food combining. Does nature have a little label on it saying don't eat this cucumber until after you've eaten your tomato and no zucchini on Wednesdays? No. Food combining. They're so convinced they can't eat vegetables and fruit together. Yeah. You have to know what is bullshit and what isn't. Mark Twain said, be careful what you read in a health book. You might die of a misprint. In actuality, these supplements are just food. That's all they are. And you're not going to die of anything relevant to the supplements. It'll never happen. What would be the worst thing if you take too much of something? You might get some bloating. You might get some gas. Maybe a little bit of watery stool, most extreme. Other things that could happen, you might, in certain extreme conditions, you might get a little bit of a rash. Could get some hives. That can happen with anything. It's not any worse with herbal foods. That's what they are. They're just food. So you're not going to be able to do yourself any harm with these things. Okay? What's the harm that could happen? You could waste your money and don't get any results. Well, that doesn't happen to my patients. We go by, I call it kind of a merit system. If we don't see results, we don't sit around and wait for results. I know how to push the buttons. If it's not A, it's B. If it's not C, it's D. And we don't wait around. Like I said earlier today in my question and answer session, I said that nature doesn't care what you combine with what. Nature's going to go at its pace, and you can help it along by giving it something to help. Okay, but you have to just make sure that you are giving it, well, the better you give it in terms of understanding that these guys over here, they have nothing to do with what we're trying to accomplish. Don't bother swallowing those. You could swallow them, but that's just more computation your software has to do in your gut. So make it simple. Like sometimes I'll say to somebody, how much slippery elm you taking? One capsule? And you're taking all these other things? Let's just put all those other things aside and give you some slippery elm powder. Get something done. As I was going to say, is bullseye. I'm a bullseye guy. You throw darts and you know that's where all the points are, right? I'm not caring about hitting the dartboard on the outer fringe. I'm going for I throw the darts for the bullseye every time. Every time you get a protocol from me or a change in protocol, it's designed. I feel like I'm a killer, meaning I feel as though I'm a hired gun to, come in here and kick ass and get this thing done as fast as possible. I realize that nature has its own pace it goes at, but we can assist that. And so everything I do, it's like I'm not waiting around for a week. I'm not going to, I tell you, it might take 2 or 3 months to heal you, but I'm trying to get a result today. And then when you call in or email me and say, hey, I made progress here, but not here, I just shuffle the deck and say, okay, let's get it over there. Let's get the progress. And nothing is casual with me. No, not casual at all. I mean, I have an intensity. I want you to come back to me and say you're blown away. You feel better. You had 2 good days. That's how we decide to do things. Like, I just had somebody been doing the protocol for 48 hours. And is upset that things are still the way they were and the diarrhea hasn't slowed down. 48 hours. That's common. That represents that we are out of touch with our body. We don't know how fast we can heal. We think it's like a drug. You take a drug, you might get a result in minutes or a couple hours. That's not the way nutrition works. Nutrition doesn't work really well in an acute situation. It works more for the long haul. Long haul. Fix it, cure it. I don't know many cases where I can take a supplement and get any quick result. One of the fastest would be liquid probiotic for acid reflux. Sometimes people tell me when they swallow it, they feel some relief the first time they swallow it. What else is there? There's probably a few other things, but not much. That's not how nature works. The reasoning, if you're wondering why the liquid probiotic / acidophilus, is because your throat is raw and your esophagus is raw because you don't have enough mucosal lining. Drinking the liquid probiotic on the way down leaves a slimy film, and by nature of that, if you combine it with colostrum powder in the bottle, you've got something that the colostrum is glue that sticks to your esophagus, and the probiotic sticks to the glue, the colostrum. When you do that, the next time you swallow something, which should be an hour afterwards, you don't drink or eat for an hour afterwards, but after that, you could, and I say should, you should definitely, those go together. You could feel a difference the same day, the first time you swallow it, one time. I see that all the time. But don't think you're healed. So I'm kind of going rambling around because I had a lot of things that were sort of on my desk, little slips of paper, and what I thought of doing might be interesting, and maybe you can let me know. If you go on Facebook, on Ryan's page, you can maybe say if this is what you'd like. 2 things I'm going to propose. One is, I can simulate an appointment. If I had an appointment before the show, if anyone's curious what an appointment sounds like, I can do 2 things with that. Just anonymously, I can just, tell you what happened and say, okay, I met with Mr. So-and-so, and they had this or that and that. We talked, he said this, I said that. Go over it, simulate it. Just say, this is what an appointment's like. It might even be a subject that you need. You might say, that's me, and then we could I can simulate the follow-ups. Real. They tell me what happened, and I tell you what happened. Another thing I'm looking for is volunteers for something that would be very exciting, and we would offer some kind of incentive, discount or something to do it. But it was my idea. I thought of something that kind of cutting edge. If anyone wants to have an appointment with me, and anonymously, but have a real appointment on the air. You're on the phone, I'm on the phone, we're talking, and it's streaming out over YouTube. That would be exciting. They're not going to know who you are. You're going to be anonymous, but you'd be having your appointment with me at a discount. I haven't figured out what it would be, but you'd benefit from it. So it would be you calling me like a regular appointment, and the microphone on my laptop would pick up your voice and my voice, and we'd have our appointment, and then we'd have a follow-up, which maybe would be part of the incentive, is that I don't always have follow-ups on the phone. Oftentimes it's through email. So if you called in and we said, you told everyone would hear what you say. You might say it doesn't work. You know what I mean? I'm not afraid of that. I mean, I would tell you, well, this is what we're going to make it work. I think that would be exciting. And if anyone thinks it's A, a good idea, or just B, they would like to do it, I guess the best way to tell us that is to, you can always send me an email at holisticgi@yahoo.com. Send a message to the Facebook page, Dr. Snow's Past, Present, and Future Patients. It's not my Facebook page, but I do talk on there quite a bit. I think that would be exciting. It would be certainly spectacular for learning, for teaching. People would hear a live appointment, or I could just describe one and kind of go over dialogue and tell you, he said this, I said that. But if you're interested, let me know directly. You could just, next Friday on the chat, you could question and answer, but you can say, hey, listen, I'm ready for that. It would be exciting, and we'd be contributing to people. That's all I really want to do. I don't really do anything else. I work at this, and once I discovered my path, I really haven't done much of anything else. So that's it for now. It's supposed to be a quick hitter. I drew it out. I love to get rambling, and I might just have a ramble hour. We might start doing a ramble hour, which would always be, if I'm on the air live, there's always a question and answer. You can always, dial me up, chat me up, and I'll answer. But I might have a rambling hour where I just talk about stuff and don't really have a single agenda, but just go from thing to thing. Because that's what my day is like, is just, it goes on and on and on. And, you might hear something that relates to you that makes a difference. That's what I want to do. I'm not interested in much else. My goal is to, as Steve Jobs said, make a dent in the universe. He meant do something significant. So the planet is better off because I was here. They used to talk about yogis, and I don't think they still do it anymore, but ancient yogis in India, they were, a lot of them were traveling beggars. And they'd go from village to village. And there's just a story that the moral of the story is they used to be so pure that just walking through a village would raise the village's consciousness or the well-being of the village. Well, I'm not pretending to be that, but what I want to be is wherever my voice is heard, I left it better than before I got there. Most everything I say about fixing gastrointestinal problems, no one's ever said before, because I invented them based on reality. I took a system that didn't exist, basically. I looked at conventional gastroenterology in the 70s, and I realized there is nothing. I invented the term Holistic Gastroenterology, and at Mount Sinai Hospital, on the wall, they have a department, Holistic Gastroenterology. And you know what they do? Not Holistic Gastroenterology. So my goal is to be heard and make a difference everywhere hears my voice, because you're not going to hear the same bullshit. Everything I say, no one's ever said before, because it is my thought process, and also I make sure everything I say is valid and accurate and true. At the end of, or more so in the middle of every appointment, people start saying amen, hallelujah. It makes so much sense. It's so logical. It sounds so easy. And then we start doing it, and they start getting results. I might start, anonymously reading some of the testimonials that you would never see, or portions of an email that comes in and says, 2 or 3 sentences. And I'd also say what wasn't working well. So there's a lot I can do. A lot of it's inspirational to know what's going on. And a lot of times people will believe someone else when he appears more than me. But any stories I tell you, anything I read is going to be genuine. So I could talk all night about, and matter of fact, it's 2:45 here. I still got a ways to go before I'm done tonight. But I could go on forever about my desire to heal you. My desire to heal you is infinite. And anyone that makes contact with me, I'm obligated. I'm obligated to get you fixed. Say you call me up and you give me a hard time. We've made contact. Next time I talk to you, I'll say, come on, let's go. I'm just so grateful to have something to give. And I'm just really grateful. I'm honored to be able to help you. When someone says, I want your help, I read your little booklet, or someone told me, that's like amazing. It's amazing. And when we pull it off, it's a miracle. What we're doing here with the GI Cure is pulling off miracles. It really is true. When you're doing something that's supposed to be impossible, and you do it, it's a miracle according to the way the world looks at it. In reality, they're lacking information. We're applying the true principles, so it's not really miraculous that I'm miraculous. It's just that we're doing things right. I guess you can say it's miraculous when you get the results, where you can unwrap yourself from that BS. So I'm going to go and prepare. I get some great clips coming out this week. A series called The Anatomy of the GI Cure. And I just did one segment last night. It's going to be on tomorrow morning, Saturday morning. What is that? Saturday the 11th. We're already into Saturday morning. I think 9:30 Eastern time. It's going to be probably a 20-part series, and it's dramatic. You might not care, but if you do care about how we got here in terms of being able to heal you, and maybe take away some of the skepticism, you're going to be impressed. There's a lot of twists and turns and ways that things came about. I learned maybe the most important thing that has helped me help people is from a farmer. And most of it was accidental and just came together. And so it's going to be 20 or more segment, and it's going to be fascinating if you like this kind of thing. If you don't, it's going to be boring. You won't listen. But short episodes. It's exciting. I can't wait till tomorrow, because I can't do it tonight. I got these damn emails to do the second slide. It's dramatic. It's suspenseful, and can't wait. So I'll do that show tomorrow morning. It will be 24 hours. I call it a show. It'll be 24 hours before it's published, maybe 48. But there'll be one coming out every 24, 48 hours. And if you have GI issues, you have to listen to this. If you're skeptical, someone you know is skeptical, force them to listen to even a couple minutes. See, the last thing is I create my appointments, and I'm trying to do so with these streams and podcasts, so that if you just hear a couple words, you're already hooked. Because I don't say much that's not really relevant, except when I tell my stories. But those have a point too. So try to get them to listen just a little bit of it. Someone tried to get their uncle, he was a family member of mine actually, to read something. to save their life. They were dying of a GI issue. He said, come on. They said, just read. It's going to take you like 15 minutes. He said, I'm not really into reading. Yeah, so he wasn't into living much longer either. So that's it for tonight. I'll wrap it up. Don't forget my radio station. Tammy, you put the, whatever it is, the call letters, whatever it is, the link to it on the Facebook page. And I'm going to start publishing stuff there. You'll find there's not much on there today, but there's going to be stuff put on there every day. And over there on the station is going to be a lot of stuff that you don't hear from any other source. You know, a lot of stuff that's somewhat obscure, but specific to, I'm going to be talking about more than just GI issues, put it that way. So thank you very much for listening, if you are. And I'm going to be doing just a lot of random live radio shows at 2, 3, 4 in the morning if you're up, or work a different shift. Just one quick thing I thought of my buddy, Scott. I'm in one of my stores, and I was a doctor. I have an office in the back of the store. And this guy comes in. And what are you doing, man? He goes, well, I just got back from India. I ate nothing but mangoes for like a year. I said, oh, good. That's cool. He said, I was in the Army. I listened to your show every day. And he listened to every single one of on my radio show. And he just came in. He had nothing. I don't know if it was just eating the mangoes or what it was. His eyes were like bulging out of his head. And he said, I just want to work with you, man. I just want to work with you. And so he became like an apprentice. Brilliant guy. And I'll never forget, just to tell a little bit about me and just one last part. I hadn't been yet ever touched a computer. And so I said, come into work tomorrow. Start tomorrow. He comes in and sets up a computer. You know, this is quite a few years ago. I fired him. I don't know why. I fired him and said, what are you doing with that thing, man? You're supposed to be working. And so as he was packing up, I realized, I can't fire this guy. He's bringing something new to me. So, and I just wanted to finish up on a story. I know I'm saying a little more than I was going to. Story I started to tell on the question and answer today about me wanting to punch a guy out. Nutritional analysis worksheet. I had a printer making a nutritional analysis worksheet for me. I was altering it so that when you came in and had an appointment with me, I wrote stuff down. So he was, I don't know, Egyptian or something. I couldn't understand him. He couldn't understand me. He's from Egypt, Cyprus, somewhere. And we went at it, you know, quite a few times. Whenever I have business cards, I say, what are you doing, man? You spelled my name wrong. Am I supposed to take a card that says, you know, Shaw? My name's Snow. What are you doing? And he said, oh, no, it's close enough. You know, my name. Did anyone ever tell you if your name's not spelled right, it's close enough? So we had animated conversations like that. So I had just barely started using a computer. I didn't know about getting an attachment. And he's working on my nutritional form. So I said to him, what's this? He says, on the phone, I said, what's this thing mean here? He goes, well, that's your nutritional analysis. I said, but no. I said to one of my employees, I said, what's that say? He says, it says nut anal. So I said, nut anal? That's from the Egyptian guy. We were always arguing. So we were haggling over this thing. He wouldn't have the right colors, you know. And so I said, you know, one of those things, he spelled one of the things right. I said, you know, it's my business. Can you spell it right? Yeah. Here's another guy, you know, another one said, Holistic Health was my store, one of my stores. Guy accused me of being in the Holocaust. So I said, listen, this thing, you got to put deeper blue. You can't just make it blue. I told you. So we're haggling. So I get the attachment. It says nut anal. The guy sent me. I said, this guy's telling me a nut? Call me a nut and tell me I'm anal. No, he's not going to do that. You're not going to do that to me, man. So I put on my coat and I'm sprinting to the front door, sprinting. And it was Scott, as a matter of fact. I said, what are you doing? Where are you going? I said, I'm going down to punch the Cyprus guy, the Egyptian guy. He goes, for what? I go, nut anal. He called me a nut and I'm anal. He says, where? I go, the email. Look. He looks at the attachment. He opens it up. He says, this is a nutritional analysis sheet. Nut anal. He abbreviated. Unfortunately, that was just one of every day with me. So that was just one of every single day. So that's it. I promise I'm going to go. I'll look for my new series coming out on the anatomy